right, everybody, here we go. We've got a great show lined up, a lot of information to get into. Crypto prices are dropping like a rock. Gotta share my screen, guys. This is the crypto bubble show. Let me minimize myself here. With the exception of Canton, River, and then Pax Gold and Gold Tether. I guess there's this M coin over here as well. Sea of red right now for crypto. Sea of red right now. Bloodbath is out there. We're going to address it. We're going to address what's going on. We got to talk crypto. We're going to talk where is the money actually flowing right now? What is the cause of the current price action? Is it this Greenland news? Is it the tariff war? Is Donald Trump going to go to war with the entire planet? Legitimately, that's a question we have to start asking. Don't know the answer to it. We also want to talk about Japan. Is it Japan's fault that everything is crashing? Will we see a bottom hold, or are we about to see a massive, massive, massive crash? There's a key level right now that Bitcoin is sitting at. A lot of cryptos are sitting on. It technically, and I'm using the word technically here kind of liberally, it technically could still end up being bullish. If this support level holds, we could still see Bitcoin go up above 100K. We could still see altcoins start to make some moves to the upside. But if this level is lost, I tell you not to get too emotionally attached to things. Yes, I love crypto. Yes, you love crypto. Yes, a lot of us have probably put a decent amount of our net worth into it because we do not believe in the US dollar anymore. But at the same exact time, we have to be prepared and ready to shift our opinions based on what the incoming information is. So if you guys are ready for all of that information to come on the show, this is a live show, so ask questions. I'm going to try to respond as best I can when I can. Smash the like button right now, though. Smash the like button right now. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Let's go ahead and just jump over to that Bitcoin chart. Now, we're going to address some levels that are very key. I already see some people talking in the comment section. There is a CME gap all the way down at 88,000. That's not the level that I'm talking about. It is interesting to keep an eye on that. We talked about that here a couple of weeks ago. But honestly, I'm not saying it's impossible to close that and then jump right back up, but I don't think that's the level we're watching. There's going to be some more significant levels we are keeping our eyes on, mostly to do with this support level right here in this formation. Will Bitcoin be able to get back above this support level? Whether you want to draw like this is something I have seen some potential debate on. You guys let me know in the comments. I'm going to draw a yellow line and a green line. Let's do a different color. I'm going to draw what's far away from green? Let's go with a purple line. Okay. I'm going to draw a purple line and a green line. Tell me which way you guys have this drawn on your chart. Either way, this is a level of support. First one, green line right now. You can see if you look really closely at our daily candle. I don't know if some of you guys are watching your phone. We are currently, as I am recording this, below the green support level. However, let's draw another line. Let's get a purple line going here. Let me make it purple first. There we go. Plenty of differences between green. Earlier, I did green and yellow during a live trading session, and all of my colorblind friends probably were a little lost. They probably didn't tell the difference. So purple, far enough away from green, you should be good. Tell me if you have it drawn like this. The reason I had this green line drawn is because I prefer to have multiple touches. 1, 2, 3. We had 3 touches kind of confirming that. The purple line only at this point had 2 going in today, and now today we're potentially making a bounce here. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Support and resistance is always more of a zone than a exact line. But either way you cut it, Bitcoin is testing some zones of support right now. And I'll tell you this, I'm giving you the answer right up front, right? You guys probably came into this watching the title, seeing the thumbnail saying, Tim, what is the level? Don't accuse me of taking too long to give the answer. I'm going to give you the answer up front, and we're going to discuss it throughout the rest of the show. The answer is we got to stay above this support trend. Whether you want to see the green line up here at 90,100, give or take, or the purple line here closer to 89,000, we need to maintain a daily candle close above this level. I myself a little bit more pertinent towards this $90,000 level, but I want to put that purple line on there just for technicalities. Just to say, hey, technically speaking, we just want to connect wicks to wicks instead of candle body closes. You have that purple line right there. We need to maintain this level. If we do not, I've done this before, but if you're newer to my channel, thank you so much for being here. Didn't even tell you guys, I'm Tim Warren. This is the Tim Warren channel, where every day we take the chaos of the markets, we turn the chaos into cash. Thank you for being here. Smash subscribe. But we've been talking about this formation for a while, and this thick red line you guys see up here, the thick uptrending red line. Let me highlight it for you guys so you know which one I'm talking about right here. This one right in here. That is an uptrend of resistance. These, whether you want the purple or the green line, is an uptrend of support. What formation is this? It's called a rising or ascending wedge formation. If it is lost, if we start closing multiple daily candles, but I'm just going to get a little hesitant even if we close one of them. If we close a daily candle below these lines, all of a sudden the conservative estimate for a move to the downside, let's change this to a normal color. Let's go yellow here. Would be a move all the way down here south of $80,000 towards 77,000, 76,700 is where the technical level is. That in and of itself is not necessarily a huge crash. It would be a new low for this whole pullback. But what probably alarms me even more is, while that's something I'd be keeping my eye on, there's an even larger level. Bears, you guys already know about this. I've mentioned it on several shows now, but a larger bearish formation, when you get this type of an uptrend called a rising wedge, after a prolonged pullback, you put yourself in a dangerous spot to see what we call a bear flag pattern. And with a bear flag pattern, you actually move this whole sucker over. We actually would go to the top here. This gives us a target down towards $62,000. That, ladies and gentlemen, would be a crash. That from where we just were here a couple of short days ago, up at $98,000, that would be a crash of 36%. And if you go back to the all-time high back in October, we're talking about Bitcoin falling 50%. Now, interestingly, I did make a prediction last year that I said the next bear market probably will only be somewhere between 50 to 60%. I don't think it's going to be 80%. The bear markets keep getting less and less. And with such a short bull market, all things considered, if in fact we are entering a bear market, and if in fact we enter some sort of major crash down to 62, this would be officially, some of you think this is already officially the shortest, smallest, not shortest in time, shortest in terms of price appreciation, the smallest bull run that Bitcoin's ever seen. So wouldn't logic also suggest the smallest bear market we've ever seen? Hence, my prediction for a 50 to 60% reduction in price action, not a repeat of 2022 where Bitcoin did pull back. Let's do the exact level here. Bitcoin saw a 76% pullback, 77% pullback back in 2022. I think this one will be closer to 50 to 60%. In other words, somewhere between 60 to potentially maybe as far as back towards 50,000. But that's my zone for if, keyword there. That's why I said it a lot of times. If we have a bear market starting right now, those are levels I'm watching. But it all still boils down to this. We'll go back here. This is the reason the video is titled here. Will we or won't we defend this support level to the upside? And the reason this is very important, we got a lot of stuff we got to talk about today. I'm going to go through gold. I'm going to go through silver. We're going to look at the SPY chart. We're talking about earnings reports for some stocks coming out. But we have some news that you need to be aware of, some updates as to what exactly is causing such fear right now in the markets. But there are still reasons to be optimistic about crypto. I'm going to start off with reason numero uno. You guys know we've been talking about the weekly buy signal that came in here months ago now, all the way back in November. At this moment, these are still looking very strong. And I had something to talk about with my live trading, my VIP trading group earlier today. I did a live show with them at noon. I went into depth about how even a move down to lower levels, like let's say we only went down to like 77,000 or so, not a big deal. That actually could still see a weekly buy signal play out in the same way. The weekly sell signals have always had a misdirection move, right? Weekly sell signal came back in July of 25. You would have been told to sell at 120,000. Let's do a quick raise of hands. Raise your hand right now if you wish you had sold Bitcoin at 120,000. All right, that's all of you. Well, if you look back on the chart here, you would have sold a little early. You would have missed out on the 126K top, but that was a great sell. How about back in December of 24, the last sell signal before that on the weekly chart? We got a sell signal back here on December 16th area, around $104,000. We would go a little higher, right? We'd end up rallying all the way up to 109.5 in January, but then we'd have a big pullback, right? These weekly sell signals had these moments of being a little early with the sell, having a little misdirection move, and then it officially happened. In the same breath, let's pretend Bitcoin went sub 80K. That doesn't cancel out this buy signal. It does not cancel out the fact that the MACD is looking bullish for the first time in a long time. Doesn't cancel out the fact that the RSI is the lowest it's been in years and looking good as well. Doesn't cancel out this amazing buy signal from the flow signals indicator. We could just see a little misdirection move where we go a little bit lower and then we make a move to the upside, seeing almost an exact flip-flop of the sell signals we had here earlier in 25 and then earlier in 2024. So weekly chart still giving us reasons to be long-term optimistic. You go down to low time frames. Let's go all the way to the 4-hour chart where the money flow is not positive yet, right? So technically speaking, the money is still coming to the downside, but you are just seeing a plethora of reasons. The RSI screaming we're oversold at the moment. The MACD on the 4-hour chart, lowest we've seen since all the way back here. December 15th, which by the way was a bottom signal itself, short-term bottom signal right there. So what we're looking at right now is a bunch of buy signals on the 4-hour, bunch of buy signals on the 1-hour. The RSI is building up, bullish divergences are building up. There are reasons to be optimistic. And if all of this, again, sitting on a support level, if all this comes to fruition and gives us a bounce tonight or tomorrow, we could easily still make our way back up closer to 100K before the next significant level of resistance. But, and that's the key word here, but if it is lost tonight, if these levels are lost tonight, it's a long road down for Bitcoin, at least down to sub 80K levels and potentially as low as 50 to 60K still on the table. I don't make the charts. I read the charts. I don't decide what happens with price action. I have to react with the rest of you. I'm not sitting here saying I'm rooting for it. Not sitting here saying this is what I want, but I have to trade the charts the way the charts tell me to read them. And when significant support is lost, I prepared you guys for this the other day. Hopefully no one's going to say, Tim, where's this coming from? You were so bullish the other day. I was optimistic the other day, but do you guys, if you guys watch my channel, do you guys remember when I gave you the strategy to set you up for success here on, hey, look for a move back here and you have one or two options. Either one, we're going to make a significant bounce off support and shoot up, or if we break it, we're going to look for a short position. As we are threatening right here, I am looking and I'm weighing my options and I am prepared to enter a short and make money to the downside. And I'm prepared to ride longs and make money to the upside. The question is which one happens. We're going to have to wait and see. But either way, I'll tell you right now, I don't know about you. I don't know what your plans are. In our VIP trading group, we are set up and prepared to make money no matter which way the markets move next. And that's ultimately where we are. Because I don't know about you guys. We're about to get into some news here in just a second. I ultimately, as much as I love crypto, as much as I think it could be a safe haven for value long-term, crypto it currently is and has always been and will always be simply a tool. The dollar will always be a tool. Gold, silver, stocks, commodities, they will always simply be a tool. If the commodity or the asset is the end goal, if Bitcoin is your end goal, when are you going to be happy enough? What price are you happy and you've made it and your life is complete? Or is crypto simply a tool to provide for your family, to change your life, to change your family's lives, to set up people around you for success like never before? That's how I use it. And so because of that, I'm just as willing to short as I am to long on the shorter time frames. Long term, I'm very bullish. Long term, when I look at these long-term charts, like the monthly chart, let me show you back here again. I'm long-term bullish. I'm not selling my long-term bags. Hopefully no one's watching this saying, did Tim just become a super bear and he's selling everything and running for the hills? No, because this chart is going to continue to do this. But how many times can I get these pullbacks to purchase in on the way up? That's where I'm at right now. I'm looking for them. And right now, if we lose this green and purple line, if we lose that uptrending support level, I am highly anticipating we will get a much better long-term buy signal over the next couple of weeks, the next couple of months. Let me know in the comment section, do you resonate with that same feeling? Is Bitcoin, is crypto, is trading simply a tool for the ultimate end goal of providing for your family? Or are you in it just for the fun of it? Are you just a professional gambler and you love chasing the dopamine in your brain when it comes to risk, right? And if you're that person, so glad you're here. I love you. Stay a part of the channel. But that's just not who I am. I'm a trader. I use this as a tool to provide for my family. Let's get into some things happening here that you need to be aware of in the news. First of all, what timeline are we in right now? Seeing headlines like these two headlines, as I'm reading through X today, and I found, then fine, I use this channel frequently, but Unusual Whales had two headlines that are just screaming at me, what world are we living in? Breaking: military officials in Canada are modeling a U.S. invasion from the south, expecting American forces to overcome Canada's strategic positions on land and at sea within the week, and possibly as quickly as 2 days per CBC. They are ready for an active invasion up there in Canada. The other one here, breaking: Europe. Oh, see, that wasn't the one I was looking at. There was another one. Where's the other one? Yeah, well, here, breaking: Greenland said to be preparing for potential invasion. Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? I asked you guys in poll. I mean, obviously, you know that this is the hot topic right now. Trump wants Greenland. Europe does not want him to have Greenland. What is going to happen over the next week? What's going to happen over the next couple months? What's going to happen over the next year? Will Greenland become part of the United States? I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have the answer. And quite frankly, I don't know what I even think about the issue, right? I understand the pros. I understand the cons. At the end of the day, I just want to make money. Put a one in chat if you're on team, I just want to make money. Put a one in chat if you're going to stay away from the craziness of the actual politics here. I've been advised very much so, Tim, stay away from politics. Don't talk politics. Just talk markets. And then days like today happen. And it's like, I literally don't think I could talk about the markets without discussing politics. But I'm going to try to stay as vague as possible with my uninformed opinions, because I think that's what they are. I'm not a political genius. That's not my area of expertise. I can make a case for things. I can make a case against things. I'm going to leave it up to you guys to decide for yourself what you think. But I just think it's a crazy world we live in, that Canada is preparing for an invasion. Greenland's preparing for an invasion from the United States. How crazy is that? Let's talk about what's potentially causing the crash right now. It's not crashing. What's potentially causing this pullback that could lead to a major crash if support levels are lost? Well, Scott Bessent's been busy today. To be fair, a lot of people have been busy today. Trump's been speaking. Bessent's been speaking. I think Bessent's words were a little bit more interesting to me. And so we're going to read with what Bessent said. Bessent said markets are down because Japan's bond market just suffered a 6 standard deviation move in the 10-year bonds over the past 2 days. This has nothing to do with Greenland. It's all about the Japanese bond blowout. So Bessent saying, guys, if you think this is Greenland, no, this isn't Greenland at all. It's just Japan. To which I would reply, well, that sucks. Because if this isn't the fallout from Greenland, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, how bad does that one get? Because I hope you guys realize the way Europe and Canada are talking right now is as if they're preparing themselves for war with the United States. And those are our allies. Does it come to that? Probably not. I think heavy betting odds would say we're not going to come to troops firing at other troops, United States versus Europe. But it's a crazy world we're in right now. What Bessent is referencing, though, the Japanese 10-year bond yield, you see here big explosions over the last 2 days. I'm not going to say the biggest 2 daily candles in the world, but you see some pretty big space between them. So every time the market's closed, it just keeps climbing up and up and up, and it just keeps going up and up and up. And this is causing a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, causing a lot of people to say, I don't want to be a part of risk on assets. To be fair, this has been climbing pretty crazily since all the way back in 2020. You have to go back actually further than that. I think you have to go back all the way to 2019 to officially get a bottom on the Japanese bond market. But it definitely is making some big moves here recently. This is what Bessent is blaming, the Japanese bonds shooting to the upside. Let me know what you guys think in the chat, in the comments. Do you blame Japan news? Do you blame Greenland news. I mean, Japan, again, the Japanese bond has been rising for a while. The Greenland stuff's a little newer. Here. Let's keep going on, though. Let's talk about some other things happening, because that wasn't the only thing that he discussed. He also, in a different interview, was trying to put people at ease. And these are videos. You guys can go watch them. Again, Unusual Whale was one of them. What was the other one? Bannon's War Room. Okay, interesting one there. I just wanted to see the video, just quoting what he said there. He had an interesting take on a different interview. He said, everyone take a deep breath. And he's kind of talking to European leaders and to people who trade the markets. He says, everyone take a breath. Do not escalate. Do not escalate. President Trump has a strategy here. You need to trust him. Don't know where you guys are. I know that Trump has a track record. And again, I'm not trying to make a case here for what I think is going to happen. I'm just saying he has a track record of causing problems, stirring up a lot of chaos so that he can flip the switch, A, solve the issue, but B, it's the art of the deal, right? He wrote this book called The Art of the Deal. And in the book, the synopsis is, if you want thing A, don't talk about thing A. Don't deal with thing A. Get the seller to worry about thing B. And then you leverage the conversation of thing B to get thing A. And that's what potentially is playing out right now. And by the way, the reason why I think that we could potentially say that's what's happening is because it'd be the 475th time that he's done it while being president of the United States. I mean, he is the king of causing problems and then solving it within the next couple of days. And he ends up getting something completely different. And what it does is it causes the opposition, right? The opposition has been China. The opposition has been Canada. The opposition has been Europe. The opposition has been Iran. It causes them to say, oh, look, we just negotiated with Donald Trump, the president of the United States, and we got what we want, so we're happy. But Donald Trump got what he wanted, and he's happy. And the question was, was the whole plan worked up like that the whole time? I mean, it's like the concept of being a little kid. And that if you ask if you can go to your friend's house, maybe your mom's going to say no. But if you first ask to go to Disney World and then you ask to go to a different country on a trip, and she keeps saying no to you, the chance of her saying no diminishes. Then you say, oh, can I at least just go to my friend's house? Fine, sure, you can go to your friend's house. Well, that was what the kid wanted the whole time. The art of the deal. Is that what's happening right now with Trump? I have no idea. I go back and forth within our team, right? We discuss this with Shrum. I discuss this with Smay. I discuss this with Crux. We discuss this with Matt, Rufio. Nobody really knows what's happening. And I think that's exactly what Trump wants. I find it very unlikely myself. Let me know in the chat if you guys disagree. I find it very unlikely that Trump is seriously considering sending troops to take Greenland and potentially put himself at war with Europe and Canada, and then, of course, China and Russia as well, because all of a sudden now Europe's getting into bed with them. I don't think that's the strategy, but that's just me. Let me know if you guys disagree. That's where I am. Let's keep going on here. Speaking of Europe, let's go back into this. Europe, told you guys a lot of stuff to talk about today. Europe may begin selling U.S. assets in response to a new conflict with the U.S., a move that could trigger a dollar collapse per Bloomberg. By the way, they're also talking about deals with China, getting China more invested in their economy. Russia has come to the table saying, hey, we support Denmark's right to Greenland and we will help fight again. Really, literally not that long ago. For the last 4 years, we've been being told by Europe that Russia is the enemy. They're colluding with China. China and Russia, don't trust them. Don't be with them. They're a lot of chaotic people. America, help us stop these evil regimes from taking Ukraine. And now all of a sudden, Europe's dumping the dollar, or considering dumping the dollar, which whose idea does that sound like? BRICS nations, led by, of course, China and Russia. They're reaching out to China saying, we want to do these big deals with you instead of the United States, because we're about to go to a trade war with the United States. They're still buying Russian oil. Russia's the bad guys, yet they're still funding them in the war against Ukraine. I don't know how this makes sense. Viewers, again, I don't like getting political. I just want to chase the markets, but we're chasing all this that has major impacts on the markets. Help me understand how this makes sense, what Europe is doing right now. It makes zero sense. And I don't say that in a way to say, oh, Donald Trump's 100% right and Europe's wrong. And no, I'm saying, when two people oppose each other, they can both be idiots and both be wrong. This move, I saw this, someone's commenting saying, oh, the weakening of the dollar is going to be so good for crypto. And heck, maybe long-term it will be. We all know that the dollar's dying anyway. The dollar will die with or without Europe and the rest of the world dropping it like a hot bag of potatoes. Like, it's going to die eventually. Inflation will kill it. But if you think that this is going to be good for crypto, it's not, because it's going to bring volatility off the bat. Long-term, maybe bullish. The death of all fiat currency will lead towards harder currencies. And we can't go back to gold. Gold being as physical as it is, it just cannot be utilized for currency. We'll need some sort of digital currency. Welcome in cryptocurrency. But at the start, if it's true, if Europe starts to dump the U.S. assets they have, not only will the dollar's value begin to plummet, bonds of the U.S. dollar will start to shoot up, and the volatility and the fear and the concern will not just make things in America more expensive, meaning inflation shoots to the upside, it brings fear to all risk assets. And that's a big thing I want to talk about right now. I'll make sure I wrote this down on my trusty notepad right here. I want to make sure you guys leave here with this understanding. Someday, I tweeted this out as well, by the way, someday, Bitcoin will be treated like a commodity. Someday, Bitcoin will be used as a real store of value, like gold is used, like silver is being used, like other commodities are being used. It will be used that way. In fact, select altcoins will also be that way. That day is not today. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency are considered really cool tech stocks. They're considered maybe the future of how we transact things, but it's risky. So when everything's stable, when everything feels good, when the economy is looking strong, invest in the technology of the future. But when there's fear, uncertainty, and doubt, when there's chaos in the markets, when there's chaos across the globe, go hard into commodities, drop your risk, go into sure things commodities. And unfortunately, today, Bitcoin falls in the risk asset. Could that change tomorrow? Could that change next year? Could that change the next 10 years? I don't know when it changes. It will change. But what's most important for you to understand about your portfolio right now is it doesn't fall into commodities. It falls into a risk asset class. And when the dollar has concern, when Europe starts dumping the dollar, China will be dumping the dollar, Russia will be dumping the dollar, India will be dumping the dollar, South America, in case you hadn't realized, we're not in great terms with them right now either. When everyone around the world starts dumping the dollar, risk assets will also be in jeopardy, and that is the crypto market. So I'm scaring you right now. I'm saying a lot of negative things. A lot of things that probably make a lot of you think, man, well, that means I need to just go dump everything that I own in the world of crypto. Remember yesterday's video? I said this is a very important week, potentially the most important week of 2026. Donald Trump will be speaking tomorrow. More meetings will happen. How many times last year did we see on Friday, two countries go head to head, and by Sunday, they seemed like best friends? Take a deep breath. This is one area I'm not going to tell you to always take Besant's advice, but maybe for at least the next 48 to 72 hours, listen to Besant and take a deep breath. Do not escalate and wait. Wait. Let's just see what the plan overall is. Let's see how this goes to fruition over the rest of the week. Don't panic. Wait before you do anything rash. Watch the charts and wait for a second. Last story I had here, and then on a good note with the stories. Then we'll look at some more charts and answer some questions. The SEC chairman says that the new Bitcoin and crypto market structure bill is ready to pass. We saw some good news on the other day on this as well. During all of the chaos right now, while we're focusing on the Greenland and the Japan and all this other stuff happening, we still have American politicians working on a Clarity Act bill that would regulate how American companies can take in cryptocurrency. That's still happening. To me, you ask me what that means. That's actually a perfect storm to keep retail from buying dips and allow the wealthy elites to buy it up before it wants to shoot to the upside. Not telling you that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm just saying, if I'm an elitist and I want to hold all the supply for myself, I want retail expecting this move so I can buy before this. Okay? So let's keep watching the charts. But right now, there's still a whole lot of positivity that's not being talked about as much as all the negative things. And literally all the negative things could be gone like this. They could be gone in a blink of an eye. All of the problems facing this could just be wiped away. So that's where we are right now. Let's take a look at some other things, though, you need to be aware of. The SPY, the S&P 500, the symbol of what the stock market looks like, did something very bad here today, something we predicted would happen eventually. But today it's looking like you need to be prepared for a bigger correction in the stock market. Why? Well, we had this rising wedge pattern. Remember, we talked about that with Bitcoin. Bitcoin hasn't officially broken out of it. Bitcoin could make another pop back up. The SPY has broken out. You guys can see here, after consolidating up into this level, rising support, rising resistance, rising support, we've clearly broke here down below. Early estimates based on this formation. Where do I want to go with this? Probably up to here. Early estimates for this breakout could send the S&P 500 back down to $653. So be ready for that. We told you guys at some point in 2026, the S&P 500 is probably overdue for a 10 to 15% correction. That 10 to 15% correction very well could bring us somewhere in the world of 625 all the way down here towards 600. So we're not even talking about the worst of it just coming down here like 650. The S&P 500 could do a lot worse, but the charts right now are saying, hey, expect a sell-off. And here's the good news. Some of you might say, well, Tim, does that mean Bitcoin's definitely going to drop as well? Well, as Bitcoin was doing its own drop, especially between the months of October and November, the S&P 500 was doing its own little climb here between October and November. So could this be a small split, an overbought stock versus an oversold cryptocurrency? Don't read this as a definite just because it looks like the S&P 500 wants to drop. That means that crypto has to drop as well. Right now, I'm reading these two charts individually. One of them has already broken support. One is sitting on support. So let's watch this over the next couple of days, and we'll see what kind of plays out there. Same thing kind of going on here with Tesla, by the way. If anyone has been trading Tesla, Tesla's been an uptrend. I told you guys, though, hey, at some point, this is going to break and come back down. I thought that maybe there was a chance that we could make a move back up here first. Let's watch this over the next couple of days. Let's confirm this, but you are watching right now. If it closes here in the next 30 minutes, does the market close in 30 minutes or an hour? I can't remember if it's 4 or 4:30. We're working right now on breaking some support on Tesla as well. What's doing quite well? Well, the good news is we have prepared you guys for this. We are diversified here. At some point, when stability comes back in, gold and silver are going to drop, but that's not today. Gold hit a new all-time high up here at $4,754. I'm much more interested in silver. After selling it back here around $80, I did buy back in at 83 after we broke some resistance levels. And right now, unless something major happens and we bring some stability back and people decide, oh, I have too much silver, let me sell it, I think the next target to watch for silver is going to be up here at the golden pocket at $110. Do we break through that? Let's kind of watch. But that's my next target to keep an eye on right now. The charts are screaming at me. We're overbought here, right? This isn't one that I would say go heavy in if you're not in already. Weekly chart is just screaming. We want to pull back at some point. But as long as there's instability across the markets, silver and gold will be safe havens until there's some sort of solution to those problems. Does that happen this week? Does it happen next week? Does it take all of 2026? I don't know. But for now, I wouldn't be selling any more of your silver or gold. You kind of ride that until there seems to be more answers than questions. And right now we got way more questions than answers at the moment. Good stuff there. I think that's most of what I want to talk about chart-wise with you guys. Some other things before we get into some questions. Make sure you guys are smashing the like, hit, and subscribe. Earnings report this week you need to know about. Some key companies. Netflix is going to have an earnings report here today, I believe, actually. Yes. Today, Netflix, United Airlines, and those are the ones that that are noticeable. Those will have answers today. Tomorrow, Johnson & Johnson, Charles Schwab, and Truist will all have their reports. And then Thursday, we'll have Intel, Procter & Gamble, GE Aerospace. That's the ones I noticed there. And then, yeah, those are the big name stocks having some earnings report this week. So if you are a stock trader, if you're looking at, watch out for those on those days that come out. Again, I think a big one tonight. Netflix has been a hotter stock. People have been talking about it a lot. There's a lot of volume trading on it. They had some earning reports tonight, and so check those out. If you guys are not trading yet, I'll tell you right now, this is a market right now that is built for traders, not necessarily for longer term investors. Invest in gold and silver, but you make a whole lot of money trading right now. I put a video out last week that in 8 days, I made a whole month's salary, right? I hang it up and take 3 weeks off, right? Just because it's a great place to trade. There's long opportunities, there's shorting opportunities. If you're looking for a place to do that, I highly encourage you, go use Toobit. It is the exchange that I use every single day. You can throw leverage on it if you want. You can trade spot on it, but no matter what you do, you get the best fees in the game. Like we have a partnership with them where you automatically, when you sign up with our link, get VIP level 1 fees. So save yourself some money, trade crypto, trade stocks. Also, when you deposit $100 or more, you can get free access to my live trading sessions, which I go a couple times a week. So if you want to see what I'm trading, you want to follow what I'm doing, make sure you go check out Toobit in the link down below. You'll see it over here. I'll show you. This is the video right here. Just go down here in the description. There's your link right there. Follow the instructions. Send proof of deposit to exchange.info@timwarrentrading.com. I forgot to say, $5 or more. Next Monday, by the way, live show, we'll be giving $500 away to one of our Toobit users. To be qualified, you have to deposit $500 or more and send that proof to the exchange.info. So go do that right now. Start trading with me and start using Toobit as well. Let's get into some questions, and I'll give some answers as best I can before we wrap out the show here today. A lot of people saying it's going to drop. Let me get a drink while I'm waiting for you guys. V Hunt says a whole year of altcoins dropping in price. But people blind to the fact that they say we are in an extended bull market when we're good. Trying to read this and make sure I'm clear. When was show me the money to support the thesis? The thesis of an extended bull market. I'm gonna say something refreshingly honest to you guys. The thesis for a bull market would be that the 4-year cycle is over and we no longer are playing by those rules. And I'll say this, there's gonna be a lot of 4-year cyclists who sit here and say, Tim, if you're right, and if we end up crashing, lose the support level, see, the 4-year cycle is still in effect. No. The 4-year cycle is not in effect. The 4-year cycle is dead. And I realize I'm giving you my opinion. You can have your opinion. I can have my opinion. Let me explain to you why, even if 2026 is a bearish year, that does not back up the fact the 4-year cycle is still a thing. At the end of the day, the 4-year cycle says that we should have had an extremely bullish 2025. It says that we should have had to wait for a new all-time high for Bitcoin until closer to 2025, and that altcoins should have had an amazing run in 2025. Did any of that happen? No. Bitcoin went to new all-time highs very quickly, faster than they ever had before. Bitcoin had a decent 2026 until, or 2025, excuse me, till the end, but closed in the red. Altcoins had a terrible 2025. The 4-year cycle was broken then. Why? Because it's not a 4-year cycle that's dictating when things rally or when things crash. It is risk assets responding how they always respond to the markets. And it's not the 4-year cycle, and it's not the halving event. The reason 2025 was a disappointing year for cryptocurrency was because, drum roll here, Donald Trump. I don't care if you are for Donald Trump, against Donald Trump, you don't care about Donald Trump. Can we all get on the same page about one thing? Donald Trump is the reason that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency did not have the fantastic year they could have. And that sounds crazy. It sounds like I'm making a political statement here. I'm not really. Donald Trump did things that caused a risk on asset class to fall, and that's why crypto crashed. And in 2026, it's completely up to Donald Trump once again. Does he bring stability to markets and allow things to rally, or does he keep pushing on this button to bring a lack of stability to cause, does he continue to go to war with the Fed? Does he continue to go to war with the rest of the planet? And I'm not making a statement on if he's right or wrong, but you have to agree. I don't care who you are, voted for Trump, didn't vote for Trump, love him, hate him. We all have to agree because it's fact. The reason why crypto did not rally in 2025 and the thing that's going to cause crypto to rally or crash in 2026, it's not the 4-year cycle, it's Donald Trump. But here's where I stay with that. I still think there's a world in which Say, for example, if somebody asked if Kamala Harris was president, this is a fun conversation. We're getting in trouble here today, guys. If Kamala Harris was president, would 2025 have been bullish? Probably. I'm going to be honest with you. Probably. What's going to be interesting is when we go 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and we look back, was going through a shorter period of pain and struggle in the crypto market to create the foundations for a longer term bullish movement worth it or not, right? Because that's what it is. It's not that Donald Trump hates cryptocurrency, right? Even if you hate Donald Trump, let's agree on things. It's his fault we crashed. We also have to understand he doesn't hate cryptocurrency. But does he see a bigger problem? I think the case for him would be being bullish is he's looking at the trade deals around the world and he's looking at the way our current government is structured. He's saying, you know what? I got to break this and bring it back down to the foundation so we can build it up the right way. Otherwise, we're doomed long term. Or is he just breaking everything just for his own sake? Like, that's what we have to ask ourselves. But I think there's a world in which we look back in 5 to 10 years and say, you know what? 2025 and potentially 2026 sucked, but it allowed us to build this framework where we aren't in this trade downfall with other countries. Right? We're not getting ripped to shreds every single year in our trade deals. We got the right legislation passed that protects cryptocurrency long-term, right? I don't want crypto to be bullish in 25 and 2026 and then flounder and become nothing in the next 10 years. I want to see Bitcoin above $1 million per coin. I want to see cryptocurrencies utilized worldwide for currency, for transparency, for elections. So we have to build the foundation correctly. So we won't really know the answer. We know the answer, Donald Trump crashed the markets. We won't know if the answer is, was it worth it or not for 5 to 10 years at best. Now, could he come in tomorrow and fix everything? Could he say, all right, I'm not going to go after Greenland. I'll do this with you. Don't do a deal with China and Russia, Europe. I'll make this agreement with you. We'll have this thing. I get what I want, you what you want. Could that happen tomorrow? Could the Fed start cutting rates? Could all liquidity come back? Could the U.S. Congress and Senate finally just agree and pass the Clarity Act? All that stuff could happen in the next couple of days, next couple of weeks. And all of a sudden, we're talking about a roaring bull market. But it's not the 4-year cycle. It's Donald Trump. He has the power to crush or the power to lift it up. It's about watching what does he decide to do. Call it manipulation, call it chaos, vote for Republicans in the fall, vote for Democrats in the fall. I'm not here to tell you what to do with that. I'm just sitting here telling you that's what we're in right now. It's not a 4-year cycle. It is the cycle of Donald Trump. And we're going to live and die by it. If you guys agree with that take, put a 1 in chat, smash like, make sure you're subscribed. If you disagree with that take, guess what? I don't profess to be 100% right, so maybe I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Be respectful, and smash like and hit subscribe. Shut the government down. Yeah. Shut features of it down. I would definitely appreciate that. Am I dreaming? It's possible I'm dreaming. Depends on what world we live in. Crypto will thrive, but not on our time frame until institutions ready to load, and we are waiting on their time frame. You know what, V-Hunt? You're right. And you know when they're going to load up? They're going to load up while all of retail is convinced that it's not. When retail is convinced the bear market's here and it's time to crush the markets down, that's exactly when institutions buy it up. By the way, it's not like last week's on-chain data was wrong or anything. Last week's on-chain data showed that whales and new whales, meaning institutions, are buying. There's still metrics right now that says they're buying. So all that's happening right now. That's another catalyst. The chart here, let's go back over here. The chart is not what I want it to be. I would love to see a clean bounce on support and then rally back up. The chart's in a dangerous spot right here, but it doesn't change the on-chain data from saying on-chain data would suggest this is the next move. On-chain data is not 100%. It could end up being bad. We definitely can see this, and that's why I'm prepared for it. But there's still a lot of evidence to suggest there's some big buyers right now. I saw on X today. I didn't grab it. One of the banks, Standard Charter, maybe? I don't know. Someone let me know in chat. One big bank just bought a boatload of MicroStrategy. Who's touching MicroStrategy right now? Or actually, they go just by strategy now. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Heavy leverage into Bitcoin. There's a lot of whale buying going on right now from institutions. So This is why this market's not as simple. It's a chaotic market. This market is chaos. That's why we help you every day here, try to decipher it and turn chaos into cash. Well, how do you turn chaos into cash? You don't marry longs and you don't marry shorts. You wait for the evidence to suggest it's time to long, and you wait for the evidence to suggest it's time to short. That's what you do. And you do it on Toobit. BlackRock, I don't know. I know BlackRock has some Bitcoin. How much Bitcoin they have, I don't know. Obviously, they make the most of their money from their ETFs. And that's something you should know about is BlackRock wants to keep making money. So what BlackRock's going to be incentivized to do, this is part of manipulation. Oh, we're gonna have some great conversations here today, guys. You got to smash like, hit subscribe right now. I love the next comment, Leslie. BlackRock is incentivized when everything's really bullish and it's going to the upside. They're incentivized to cause some chaos because the higher things go, the less people are going to want to buy, but people are really happy they're making money. So they have to create reasons for people to want to sell to create more fees so they make more money, right? BlackRock makes money when you buy or sell an ETF. So think about it. Bitcoin price is high, they're going to encourage you to sell. So they get fees from you selling. When Bitcoin crashes, everyone's discouraged. They're going to want to create some reason for you to buy. Okay. But they don't want Bitcoin to go to zero. If Bitcoin goes to zero, if crypto goes to zero, they lose their money cow. They lose their cash cow. They don't want that. So BlackRock loves the volatility, but they still want to see long-term success. And if Bitcoin trends downwards, people will stop buying and selling. Bitcoin needs to trend upwards to be what they want it to be. So BlackRock is very, very incentivized to see Bitcoin continue to put in higher highs and higher lows. But that means watch for more volatility and manipulation from BlackRock. Be prepared for it. It is going to kind of mark the markets. I love what Leslie Herbert just said. I'm blaming all this on Tim's necklace. It's fair. It's a silver necklace. So you're just trying to diversify here. Just trying to diversify. When is Tim Warren coin coming? That is an answer I can give you immediately and forever. There will never change. Never. And if you ever hear me discussing a Tim coin or a Tim Warren coin, you're dreaming. Number one, you're either dreaming. Number two, aliens have abducted me. Or number three, the government has my family in a holding cell and I'm being forced to do so. I will push a Tim Warren coin to save my family's life. I'm just gonna let you guys know right now. I will push a Tim Warren coin if it involves the life of my family. Unless it involves the life of my family, I will not be pushing a Tim coin. I think it's the dumbest thing in the world for influencers to create coin. No insult to ones that have, but I'm just saying, I think it's very dumb to create coins after your likeness because I think it's just, you're just asking for dumb things. When Trump created his own coin, some of you guys remember, I think I was one of the very few influencers out there that on the day it happened said, this is dumb. I wish he didn't do this. I think a lot of other people wanted it, liked it. I want the record to reflect. I was one of the very few, I'm not the only, but I was one of the few that said this is dumb and this could hurt crypto pretty bad. I can't stop Smay from launching Smay coin. Smay, if you want to launch Smay coin, that's on you, but I will not support it. I will not talk about it. I will not push it, but I can't stop anyone from creating their own coin. If you guys want to go buy Smay coin, Smay's our editor, by the way, our producer. You are big boys and big girls out there. You can do what you want with your money. I will never do that. Tim should dump his bags on us. Won't do it. $5 sponsorship deal, Tim. All right, now you're talking. $5. Do you know how much Cardano I could buy with that? Just kidding. I wouldn't buy Cardano right now. Tim A coin. You did it. Remember, you did it. Remember, you did. Wait, I don't know what that means, Moonshine. I don't know. Okay. Why? Okay, this is a good question here. Why do so many people complain that Toobit freezes accounts and doesn't allow users to withdraw earnings? Have you experienced this at all? No, I haven't. And I'll tell you this right now. One of the advantages of being, I don't think they do that, but let's just pretend you have a problem with your Toobit account. This is one of our relationships we have them. We have a relationship with the vice president of the company. We've already helped several of our customers who have had some glitches or issues talk to Toobit and get them solved very quickly. Amazing customer service. The way they handled the 1010 crash. Who put a 1 in chat? Let's do. I've already done 1 in chat. Put a 5 in chat if you got destroyed by the 1010 crash, the October 10th crash. Toobit had very few people get destroyed and lose a bunch of money, but the few that like lost money out of their account that had stop loss, everything. They were refunding people that wrongfully lost money during the 10-10 crash. I was the only exchange I heard doing that. So that's one of the reasons we partnered with them. If you don't ever want to be worried about your money in your account wrongfully leaving, I suggest using Toobit. Use our link, because if you do, I can help you talk to a rep and get things sorted very quickly. Amazing customer service. Amazing customer service they have. Yeah. Oh, Moonshine saying, yeah, saying I was the only one saying to stay away from Trump coin. I was. And I caught flack for that, by the way, as well. People thought I was crazy for saying Trump coin won't make it. All right, guys. Yeah. We're probably going to wrap it up here. Last question here. Conspire says, with no alt season this cycle, the question many of us are asking is, why stay in the market? That's a good question. High risk with no reward says it all. Conspire, I'm going to shoot a video. I think I want to shoot it this week, but I want to make sure I put it out at the right timeline. So if I don't put it out this week, I'm thinking next week. We'll see how the rest of this week goes, depending on what I need to shoot. But I have a video idea ready to shoot called Will We Ever See an Altcoin Season Ever Again? Watch that video when it comes out. But I also want to be very clear. If you go back and look at any single market top or market bottom of crypto, of a tech stock, of anything, you will never find pessimism at the top, and you will never find optimism at the bottom. Not sometimes, never. You will never hear at the top of a major cycle people saying, yeah, this thing's about to crash and be bad. And at the bottom, you'll never hear people saying, I think this is the perfect time to buy. Instead, it's quite the opposite. At the tops, you will always hear people saying, we have another 20, 40, 50% to the upside to go before you even think about selling. And at the bottoms, you have people convincing you, no, we're going 1,000 times lower. This thing is garbage. It's going to zero. When it comes to altcoins, I do think the game has changed. I don't think you can just blindly put your money into any altcoin out there and just, like in the past, be guaranteed to have some sort of altcoin rally that would get everyone going. You got to be smart. You got to start treating it just like stocks, like assets. Where's the value actually going in the world of crypto? Some cryptos will make it, some won't. Which ones will actually provide value? And after that, where is their blood in the streets? Where is the price with these coins that I have found that are fundamentally, futuristically very valuable? I want to buy when everyone else says to stay away, and I want to sell when everyone else says they want to line up to buy it. And right now, everyone's saying sell your crypto. I showed you. The charts are saying we could go a little lower here. But these are great times to start accumulating. I hope people don't think that I'm saying sell all your crypto and walk away because we could go sub 80K. I'm buying every dip I possibly can. We are closer to the bottom than we are the top. Are we at the bottom? Maybe, but I can't guarantee it. But I do believe, and I have strong reasons to think that we are closer to the bottom. So I have continued to DCA. I continue to use dry powder from both my wins in trading, and I have an income, guys. I have money that comes in. I budget it correctly. A certain portion goes to dry powder to buy coins, stocks, assets that nobody else seems to want to buy because those are the best times to buy them. I do my research. I look at the charts. I look at the fundamentals. I don't put my money into any coin out there. I have selective reasons for why I buy what I buy. That's what you need to have as well. If you want to learn more about it, come join my VIP trading group. Join Toobit, deposit $100 or more, watch my live trading sessions, and then you want to go further, join my VIP trading group. It's not that expensive. Go buy it. Come in. Great conversation with great people. Every single day we're discussing this kind of stuff. And there will be a bull market again. There will be a bullish day. I still think 2026, but if not, 2027. And if not, then 2028. You know, we're going to make some money. We're going to trade it. We're going to invest it. But I'll tell you right now, the best days to buy are when nobody else wants to. And today's one of those days. So buy dips when you can, as you can afford them. And I'll see you guys in the next video, next couple of days. Thanks for being here. Smash like, hit subscribe. Go get Toobit. Love you guys.